What's good, brothers and sisters? This video is for those of you that want to achieve success, whatever you deem success to be, whether that be building a business that makes billions of dollars per second, or whether you just want to live in the mountains and become a monk. Okay, first of all, I don't know what success is, but I feel like the steps to achieve your goals are the same for you, not for everyone, because most people that are quote unquote successful, they've been programmed to be that way since childhood, since birth. These people, first of all, I'm just talking about people who live in first world countries. They had the nice circumstances. They first of all didn't have to worry about survival and money and food. If you live in a first world country and you struggle with money, that's absolutely hard. But it's still a privilege compared to living in a third world country. And then I'm not trying to bash third world countries, so please don't put those words in my mouth. But yeah, these people, ever since childhood, ever since birth, they had positive feedback loops. They were told they were confident or good at something, or they played sports and somehow learned to deal with pain, failure, and suffering, and they developed a good self identity. So now they cruise through life feeling confident, working hard. They're at the end of the day, I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, because they are hard workers, but they were programmed to have the tools to be the type of person that achieves success. And if you feel like you're trying to be on that path but you're not quite there yet, or you are on the path but it almost seems like very hard and it seems a little bit unrealistic, then you need to do what they did, which is be programmed to be this way. Who we are and what we do on our day-to-day lives is just because of our genetics and the accumulation of everything that's happened in our lives and our circumstances. Somewhere back in the day, some things happened to us which made us think certain things about the world and react to certain things in a certain way. And also, there's human biology, which makes us automatically act in certain ways because of cues. I was reading this book called Influence, and it was talking about how turkeys react to a certain beeping sound. And this beeping sound, like beep, beep, it triggers the turkey mothers, it's turkey moms. So moms, like the animals, turkeys that are moms, it triggers their maternal instinct and they care for their offspring. This beep, it's a chirp. It's a chirp that the baby turkeys make that triggers the mom's maternal instinct. And animals, they don't have the mental capacity that we do. It's limited. But so is human mental capacity. So what am I trying to say with this? It's that as soon as the mother turkey hears this chirping sound from their babies, it triggers the maternal instinct. It needs to recognize a trigger for it to automatically act in a certain way. Then they kind of did an experiment where, I don't know if it was a wolf. I don't know who is turkey's natural predator. Let's just say it's a wolf. It's not a wolf, it was some other animal, but bear with me. They attached some type of device that plays the chirping sound, and the mother turkey automatically turned on her maternal instinct to care for her predator, something that would normally the turkey mom would be on the defensive and try to survive, but no, it went and cared for it. Now, what am I trying to say with this is that we also have triggers that override logic and thinking, and we automatically act. This trigger is just us recognizing patterns, because at the end of the day, we can't look at every situation and analyze it too deeply, because that would be inefficient and a total waste of time. The best example I can give at the top of my head is like being racist. People see a person of color and they automatically associate bad things with them just because of previous biases. It's automatic. And there are plenty of things that are automatic because we are wired that way. So, again, all I'm trying to say is a lot of the stuff that we do, the way we act, is subconscious. So we probably don't know it or notice it yet, and we have to change it through a long period of time. It took us, I'm 20 years old. It took me 20 years to become what I am now. And within those 20 years, it was 19 and a half years of doing bad habits. And here I am expecting to change everything in an instant. No, it won't happen in an instant. It's going to take a long time. And that's something a lot of you guys will agree with. Well, obviously, change takes time. You logically agree with it. But honestly, sometimes you need to experience the pain and suffering of change to feel it and acknowledge it and internalize it in your head to agree with me. So there's going to be a lot of other things I can say in this video that are truthful that you might agree with. But at the end of the day, all this video is going to do is kind of shape and rewire your brain a little bit. Unless you are in a very specific circumstance where you are willing to accept the advice and take action on it right now, this video by itself is not going to change your life. But what I do hope is that you agree with me and that I open you up to new perspectives so that you eventually will change your life. And if it changes your life instantly, even better for me. You're going to like me more, right? Okay. A lot of people tell you good advice. Like, you have to be disciplined. You have to work hard. You have to want it better than others. I'm building a coffee catering business, and I'm watching YouTube videos on how to be better at business. That's an oversimplification, but that's technically what I'm doing. And I was watching this video by Alex Hormozy, and he was talking about high achievers and how they have a rule of not stopping work until their objective is done. So, for example, if someone's a door-to-door salesman, they're not going to stop knocking doors until they sell 10 pairs of glasses, just to name an example. Whether it takes them 1 hour or whether it takes them the whole day, they're not going to stop. You're going to hear that and be like, yeah, I have to work hard. I'm going to work hard. And you might get not disciplined. You might get this motivation to want to do it, but you're not going to do it. It's like you don't have the ability to choose to do that. You can't do that. You have to progress. You have to progressively overload. You have to little by little change who you are in order to be able to do that on a long enough period of time. Change takes a while. Change takes so long. And we have to drop our ego and pride of wanting to want results right now, and we have to embrace, this is the most sauciest advice I will probably give you, we have to embrace taking the tiniest action step we can take. If you want to go to the gym, don't let your mind think about the pain of going to the gym. Commit yourself to putting on your shoes. And once you put on your shoes, I give you permission to go back to bed and brain rot. That is a state that most of you are in. That's the action steps most of you need to take. But you guys want to muster up enough motivation to go to the gym, to fully experience the pain of going to the gym. And some days you might even be consistent for a whole year of going to the gym because one day you got motivation to experience the full pain of the workout. First of all, you're not going to honestly be consistent for a year that easy unless you actually enjoy working out at the gym. No. You need to take your pride down and put on your shoes and then go back to doing your old habits and do things little by little by little. And apart from that, your brain's going to come up with a ton of excuses, and they're all very valid. Technically, every single one of your reasons is valid. Just the fact that you have an excuse, even if it doesn't make sense at all, is mental friction preventing you from taking the action. One more thing. Action taking is always better than overthinking. And this is another piece of advice. You might roll your eyes and think, well, duh, that's obvious. Overthinking is bad, and you should always take action based on the advice you learned. But you need to get this through the thick skull of yours. I know this for a fact, and I still overthink 24/7. But this is what I mean by change takes a long time. You have to put in the reps. I have to put in the reps of being consciously aware that I'm overthinking and then taking action that second. And if I do that over a long enough period of time, then I reduce the time it takes from acknowledging overthinking to taking action. Right now, you're going to suck at it, and you need to be willing to suck. You need to forgive yourself when you suck, and you need to learn so much, change your beliefs about the world. If you think you're lazy, if you have the identity of a lazy person, you're at the end of the day not going to change until you stop thinking you're lazy. But at the end of the day, how are you going to stop thinking you're lazy if your actions say you're lazy? Here's where I'm getting at. In order to change your self-identity, you need to have proof that you are who you say you are. But in order to even take the action in order to even take the actions that are required of you to change your identity, you need to change your identity. So how do you do it? It's like one big loop and there's no place to start. That's the thing. There is no place to start. What started first? What came first? The chicken or the egg? My take is it's a cycle, like the water cycle. Things happen, then this thing happens in a loop. First, I forgot about the water cycle, man. First, here, the water gets evaporated, then it gets condensed, and it keeps on happening and happening and happening. Nothing came first. It's always one big loop. So you have to just throw yourself in the middle of the loop and in whatever way you can and take the first action step you can take. It's going to take a while. Being disciplined, everything is a skill. Being disciplined is a skill. Your ability to stop overthinking is a skill. It's a skill that takes quite a while. And the fact that it takes quite a while means that if you feel a lot of pain trying to change, if you feel a lot of resistance, you're probably going to give up. Your journey will probably include many giving ups until you muster up enough, what do you even call it? It's not motivation. You're probably going to keep giving up until you gain enough momentum that it's harder to give up. And like I said, you're going to give up. You're going to experience a lot of pain. You're going to have to deal with how to deal with that pain. You're going to have to deal with judgy people. And it all takes a while. It's going to break you. And it's going to have to mold you into a different person. You're going to have to take advice that doesn't work. And we're all going to end up with a different definition of success. And we all need to prioritize different things. At the end of the day, there's so much. And I jabbed to you, and hopefully you even understood a lot of my points. If you didn't understand anything, tell me. If you're going to criticize, I'm already worried about you guys criticizing me because I'm kind of going all over the place right now. But that's something I need to do with. I personally have been kind of bad at dealing with criticism, and even thinking that I'm a person that doesn't handle criticism and hate comments and judginess well. That thought doesn't serve me, but at the same time, it's good that I'm aware of it. So there's contradictions within advice that are both true and not true at the same time. Think thoughts that serve you to a healthy extent. Be aware, but don't let the awareness break you. And I keep telling you a million things to do. The ability to not let the awareness break you is a skill in itself that you have to build up little by little. Okay, let me break down everything. How do you change? You, number one, take everything one little step at a time, super tiny step at a time. Second of all, you think thoughts that serve you. Third of all, you shift your attention to whatever is more likely let me try that again. You shift your attention to things that are more likely to steer you towards your goals. I'm ending this video. God bless you. If you believe in love, then you pretty much already believe in God. Bye. By the way, this is episode I have no idea of uploading a video to YouTube every day, so I get better at speaking to the camera. Like, comment, share, subscribe.